Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Divergence Route A, Episode 6, and I'm pretty sure this will be the last episode in this part of the visual novel. So anyways, Hikari is once again acting strange, pretending to be someone else. So in the beginning, she was the Komaka office lady who was teasing Akito, and now she's the Comet Girl who's creating quite a scene everywhere she goes. So there was a video that went viral of her saving a cat from the streets, and that reminds me of Buster from the Archer TV series. So in one episode, a cat came down from a tree to eat Buster's ice cream, and in a sense, he saved the cat. And when they told the mother about it, so the mother works at a newspaper company, and she told the presses to print a front page article about Buster, and pretty much the rest of the episode goes from there. So anyways, it looks like the Six Stars Club is once again facing problems. So without prominent members, Keisuke, Naruye, Noriko, and Orihime, the club can't really attract new members, and they haven't made any significant achievements in progress. And now their blog is getting quite dull after the construction of the Place 1 cluster. So Hikari mentioned about Project Starlight, but she hasn't really showed up, and everyone's been waiting for her to see what Hikari has in her ideas. And now she finally made her appearance, well, in a most unexpected way. But anyways, let's see how it goes from here. So Honoka interrupted me before I could think, or I could finish. Hey, so hold on for a minute. It's like, well, so we came out here to do stargazing, and it looks like the time is coming soon, so we better hurry up and get everything all ready to go. So Honoka pointed her index finger at the sky. So as Honoka gave her instructions, we remembered our assigned task and started work. So what's the problem now? So what's wrong? So I need 3 minutes to prepare. Okay. It's like, well, the objects don't wait for you, so. Okay. I don't really like this kind of leader. She's too strict. So Honoka, she's pretty much sticking to the rules. In the last episode, she was upset that some girls were on their cell phones in the middle of a long and boring meeting. And that was when they were looking at this Comet Girl, and they were sharing Akito the video. So you're energetic, right? So how about you use that energy on something more productive? Come on, help me, Saya. I hate this leader. She's too strict. She's like a teacher. A boring teacher. No, don't worry. we'll have other times to do this. So, on the emotional reunion with the postponed, the emotional reunion was postponed as we get ready for the observations. So now it's time. It's like, okay, welcome back, Hikari. So is Corona jealous? So what's wrong now? So come on, so if you really miss Akito, how about you just jump in? And that's way too embarrassing for Hikari. Well, that would have worked back in the old days. So Hikari's objection was reasonable. But after all, we had just brought the Plays 1 here, assembled and adjusted the optical axis. So there wasn't much time, so we had all worked silently. And we managed to get everything ready before sunset. But the shock and nostalgia of seeing Hikari again had vanished completely. Saying, well, the magic disappeared because we were busy working on the telescope and some time has passed, so it doesn't really have that same effect as if it was just meeting for the first time after looking at each other for a few seconds. Well, I don't think anyone's interested in that kind of event now. Okay, so Comet Girl. So I don't think Hikari understands what's going on. It's like potato chips, but they didn't mention anything about potato chips. And how did that come into Hikari's mind? Well, she really doesn't know about it. Seeing that everyone was looking at her in confusion, Hikari cocked her head to one side. Okay. Honoka gathered or gestured for Hikari to step forward. So those who had worked with Hikari since last year clapped and welcomed her back. So welcome back, Hikari, and we're very happy to see your craziness all over again. So the younger students didn't know her personally, or had only heard of her through the Six Stars Club group chats. And once again, Hinami stills like well, she's Comet Girl. So Hikari knew about the first years too, and went about putting the names from the group chat to faces. So worried by Hikari's proximity and almost oppressed by her bosom, Hinami took a step or half step back. So, she has a nice body. So Hikari heard what the first years were saying about her. So, I look cool, right? So she was overjoyed. Well, anyways, so why didn't you reply to our messages? So why were you quiet? I broke it. I wonder if that's true or not. Wait a minute, I'm pretty sure even if it's broken, there has to be some way to recover it. Really? So that's why she'd been waiting up here. So when did you return? So she showed off her Amahai uniform rather proudly. Well, even though the thick fabric, her chest was visible, it seemed like she had gotten bigger too. And Saya was also looking at them jealously, or perhaps that was just my imagination. Well, I'm pretty sure it's more like Saya's kind of just confused and like turned off by Hikari's, I'll say like her pompous statements and I look cool, right? My uniform is great. Okay. Wait, so didn't you say you'd be gone a bit longer? So why just a year? I thought you were gonna stay longer. So I think well, I told my father, I was like, well, I miss Japan. I like the things over there, and there's something that I want to go and work on. And I've already had enough experience working with you on trains, so I want to go back. So when Hikari said that, everyone looked at one another expectantly. Honoka looked at Saya and me as if seeking confirmation, and then to Hikari. So anyways, why are you all looking at me with weird expressions? So what happened? Well, not exactly. So we couldn't contact you, so we couldn't start the project, that's all. So you've been leaving us quiet for the last few days, and well, I'm pretty sure they haven't started because like we're waiting for our main person to show up. There you go. So we're just waiting for you to say, okay, let's do it. So Hikari smiled brightly. Okay, so here's my official start call. And with a wide grin on our faces, we all nodded.
お願いしますね。プロジェクトリーダー。頼りにしてるよ、ヒカリ。コロナもピカリについてくよ。
And once again, because Corona called Hikari Picarine, she gets a slap. Or a chop.
よーし、プロジェクトスターライトの開始をここに宣言しちゃうよ。
So with everyone relying on her, Hikari was in high spirits. So remember, Project Starlight is how they're going to try to promote the entire town or city. So astronomy to the entire city and town. It's like this is how we're going to keep the astronomy clubs up and running. And I wonder how they're going to do it. But we know we could rely on her because that's who Hikari was. And there was a special gravity about her. So I think the problem with why they need Hikari to get the Project Starlight going is because only Hikari knows how to make it work. So anyways, for some reason Hikari is screaming and I wonder what's going on. Okay, so Hikari screamed, holding Saya's phone in one hand. And on screen she saw herself pick up the kitten and run off. Okay, so that little video from episode 5, it's like, wait, so who taped this? And so is that you? Number 1. I wonder if Hikari's trying to deny it. It's like, well, that's not me. But then it's like, but that girl has red hair, 2 ponytails, and that jacket that she's wearing is the same that Hikari wears. Same style. Really? So, you don't know about this? Hikari shook her head. Saya and I were pretty surprised when we watched the video, but Hikari's mind was blown. Hikari didn't even notice that Corona called her Picarine and just kept staring at Saya's phone. She was really shocked. So what's wrong? Well, you're taking it lightly. Good. So I wonder who took the picture or who took the video. But then again, it's like a viral video, so it's going to become popular, it's going to peak, and then it's going to become unpopular. Well, that's true. So according to Hikari, the day after she had came back to Japan, she found the kitten on the way to Amahai and ran right in to save it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's because it's high school, you get kids that are anxious, interested. When they see something interesting, they make it big. So they take a picture of it, they video it, and they post it. And then she found its mother and siblings, so she returned to the kitchen and went off to school. And I wonder who came up with that nickname. Hikari gave a weird smile. Well, if she didn't, so if she doesn't mind, so be it. Well, Honoka is right. So today's observation wasn't an overnight one. We had to leave while the trains were still running. Okay, I got it. So the boys started dismantling the Plays 1 telescope. So today's observation went well, right? So tonight's theme was Mars, since it was right, it was the right time to observe it. And in addition, we took some direct focus photographs with depresses 1. So direct focus photography is when you replace the lens of an SL camera with a telescope. Or more like you replace the eyepiece with the camera. So we remove the lens of the SL camera and attach it to the depresses 1 eyepiece and try taking some photos. So it's more like you change the eyepiece. So the results are great. The photos capture the feel of the night sky. So at least the camera's digital, so they can see their images right off the bat. I'm sure in some older telescopes they have film cameras, or they have like an adapter where you put film into it. So how can we show the readers of our blog the sky as soon as through our homemade telescope, the depresses 1? Or now we can show them. Okay. And so our short but fruitful observation meetup came to an end.
先輩、お疲れ様です。お疲れ様です。皆さん、気をつけて帰ってくださいね。
あざっしたー。それじゃあまた。
Okay, so when we got to the station, we all went our separate ways home. And the only ones left was Saya and I, who lived nearby, and Hikari, whose house was the furthest of all. So when's your train, Hikari?
あと5分くらいで来るみたい。
In 5 minutes? Well, that wasn't enough to grab a cup of coffee, so we waited by the gates.
でも本当にびっくりした。いきなり帰ってくるんだもん。ドッキリ大成功。
So I wanted to surprise you. Hehehe. Well, it's hard to relax when you're around. Well, that's for sure. So how about doing some things that are normal? Or like doing some regular things for a change?
そんなのつまんないじゃん。
But that's boring.
やっぱ楽しくないとね。
Well, I'm sure Hikari has lots of energy, but the same can be said for Akito and Saya. So for the last part, Hikari seemed to be talking to herself.
あ、そうだ。お土産あるから今度持ってくるね。
Oh, so it has the souvenirs from that country. So Southeast Asia, Malaysia.
お話も聞きたいな。向こうでの暮らしとか。
And plus it'll be good to hear about how it was over there.
うん、聞かせちゃう。今度、アキトの部屋でパジャマパーティーやろうよ。
You dork. Come on. My room is small. It's bad to fit other people in there.
なんでよ。
Why not? Sikkim, come on, we're not kids anymore.
ほほ何がどう違うんですかな。
Well,
具体的にお願いします。
So what's different? Hikari, let's see, sniggered. Well, I felt my face turn red as I looked away.
はあ、赤くなってる。ほら、見て見て、さや。本当だね。
Well, for Saya, I don't think she's as enthusiastic and happy as Hikari is. You can look at her eyes. Now, Saya was making fun of me too.
アキトのむっつりも相変わらずか。
Come on, shut up. So what does Kotaro say about this? So straight at his leash, Kotaro was wagging his tail and barking.
コタちゃん。
So I just couldn't help going over to pet Kotaro.
相変わらず小太郎はさやにデレデレだね。
Well, even though I'm the one who walked him every day, so why does he like Sai better?
まあでもしゃあないよ。さやは可愛いから。
And I'm sure Sai treats Kotaro better than Akito, so she pets him, is really nice to him. And I'm not really sure how Akito treats Kotaro. Hikari glanced over at me as she said this. Well, I knew more or less what she was trying to say. Hey, so don't give me any funny ideas. You're no good at that kind of thing anyways.
そんなことないもん。タケとジンノさん、うまくいってるんでしょ?
That's not true, and plus, how is Take and Nare doing? Well, I guess Takeichi had really set the precedent here. So, well, that's due to Take's hard work, not yours. So, don't be so smug.
童貞のアキトに言われたくない。ねえ、まだ童貞なんでしょ?
But then again, I kind of pushed Take a little, and so many good things just came right after that. So, well, so look away from Hikari.
恥ずかしがることないって。
Hikari patted me on the shoulder. Well, I wanted to pinch her cheeks until she cried.
ところでさ、あれはどんな感じなの?
So how is what coming along? So what's the that?
前に星を見てると不安になるって言ってたあれよ。もう平気になったのかなって。
So are you still comfortable or uncomfortable looking at stars? Well, I wish she stopped these siegs from things like my virginity to serious topics. Well, at my silence, Hikari got a little worried and looked up at the sky. Well, actually, there's still a bit of that, so I still kind of feel comfortable looking at stars. Well, it's not as bad as before, but it is still there.
そっか。
I see. So Hikari sounded glum, and then... So what's next? Ouch!
私が帰ってきたからには、そんな不安、銀河の果てまで蹴り飛ばしてやるわ。
So don't worry, I can help you. I'll make you not worried anymore and... So with a smile, Hikari looked or took my hand in hers. And unlike her words, her touch was gentle. So what about Saya? Saya had gotten her fill of playing with Kotaro and returned without noticing. Hikari suddenly hugged Saya and started caressing her. And it might be too much for Saya.
私は小太郎よりあんたを撫でたいよ。よしよしよしよし。
But I'm pretty sure Saya does not appreciate that Hikari's treating her like a dog. Oh, she likes it. That tickles.
いっぱい一緒に遊ぼうね、さや。ああ、そうだ。今度デートしよう。いいよ。またハーバータウン行こう。新しいお店もできたんだよ。
So looking at the girls playing around, I got a little jealous. So, it seems that Hikari and Saya, they have more things in common than me. They can get along better and... Well, if I did the same thing to them, I get slapped. Well, I'm sure this is a girls-only matter. So you two get along very well, huh?
当たり前じゃん。だってさやは私の親友だもん。ねえ、さや。
And just then we heard the sound of a train's wheels.
来たよ。
Okay, so Hikari, your train's here.
ああ、もっとさやをスリスリしてたいけど、しょうがない。帰るか。
So Hikari walked away from Saya towards the gates. And just before entering the station, she looked back.
明日から頑張ろうね。プロジェクトスターライト。
Yeah, well, we'll go for it. Hikari struck a pose and then ran through the gates and onto the train at the platform. So things are going to get interesting around here, starting tomorrow.
そうだね。
So, for no reason at all, we stood there and watched the train disappear into the night.
ねえ、秋田くん。
So now with Saya and Akito alone, let's see how it goes.
やっぱり、また今度でいいや。
Well, I'll save for later. Oh, come on. So don't do that.
じゃあね、また明日。
Well, see you tomorrow. Hey, well, I'll walk you home, Saya, so...
いい。
Well, don't worry, I'm fine. And with that, Saya took off. Hey, be careful not to fall. Wait, so what's up with her? So, did something change because of Hikari? So going to Project Starlight. Before talking about Project Starlight, let me explain the phenomenon that had been predicted for this year. Oh, okay. So it was predicted that it was going to be a particularly good year for the Geminid meteor shower. Okay. And to begin with, the Geminid meteor shower was already one of the 3 most active meteor showers. But this year, the forecast was nearly double the usual number of meteors. And people on TV were calling it a possible reprise of the 2001 Leonids, and things like that. A meteor shower is where a large group of meteors fall continuously, almost like rain. And at the time of the 2001 Leonids, here's what an amateur stargazer who actually saw it had to say. So the meteors just keep falling and falling. I was almost sick of it by the time it ended. Well, can you believe this? And what a privilege it must have been. And those who remember the Leonids, or like the Leonids, and the young stargazers who missed them, had high hopes for this year's Geminid shower.
大流星群を最高の状態で迎えるために、私たちに何かできることはないのかな。
So from Hikari's comment, the idea for Project Starlight had been born. So surely there was something the Six Stars Club, a gathering of students from the 6 schools of Hoshinonaka City, could do. And it only had to be for one night, the night of the meteor shower. And we wanted as many people as possible to see as many meteors as possible.
明るい夜のために。
So we were planning to create the ideal backdrop for the meteor shower, a night sky bright with the twinkling of stars.
というわけなんです。
Okay. So Hikari looked very pleased as she finished explaining her plan. However,
何言ってるかよくわかんなかった。
so the problem is that Hikari was talking about how great it is, and she pretty much alienated everyone else in the club room. So it got to the point where Hikari was just talking to herself.
そうですね。
And she didn't really come to check to see if the other people were on the same page, especially for the first years. So Corona, Toyota, and
要するに俺ら何をすればいいですか？
Kawano Kajima.
何って盛り上げるの天文を。
Well, I'm sure the way that Hikari spoke, it's too complicated for anyone to understand. And as a result, they can't be excited.
もう少し具体的にお願いします。
So come on, just to the point, make it brief. How about that? Hikari shrank at Honoka's impressive remark. Okay, so start over, but be more concise, be more brief, and try to get to the point about what you want us to do. So today, the Six Stars Club was meeting in the Astronomy Club at the Meikou Academy. And the purpose of the meeting is to discuss Project Starlight. Hikari had been saying, well, let's do it since forever, but the details were all in her head, and listening to her now still didn't make things any clearer.
Saya!
So Saya, can you help me? Can you try to reward it? And thus summoned, Saya had no choice but to go to Hikari's side.
まずこことここを説明しないと。
Okay, so Saya's giving Hikari a script. It's like, okay, so talk about this, that, and that.
おお、そうだった。
Okay? So thanks to Saya's advice, Hikari got her groove back.
この計画の趣旨は天文の PR です。流星群ブームに乗っかって天文の楽しさをより多くの人に知ってもらうことを第一の目的とします。
So basically, they're going to use this meteor shower as a way to bring back the excitement, get or attract new people into astronomy. So Project Starlight sounded really grand and all, but behind the name, it was just a publicity stunt. It's like, well, we do know that a lot of people here are quite interested about this meteor shower. So if we can try to use this interest in the right way, we can use it to promote our astronomy clubs. And the idea was to promote interest in astronomy now, while the world was eagerly looking to the skies. There you go.
そのために6つの学校が集まっているっていう6つら星の会の特性を生かそうってわけ。
So last year it was the construction of a big telescope that's shared by the 6 schools, and this year it's going to be this meteor shower that's going to attract new people. So 6 schools in the club were spread all over Hoshinonaka City, and if we focus on our neighborhoods, we could get the word out to most of the city. Well, I'm sure for Akito, there isn't really much to focus on because he lives in a pretty quiet, sparse, remote area. Compared to Hikari, who probably lives in a really big town or like the popular areas of the city, so in a sense, he gets more work to do. But we already know that.
するだけですか？
Hikari shook her index finger.
それで終わっちゃったら苦労の割に、耳が少ない。そう、それになっちゃうでしょ。
なんか俺らにも旨味があるんすか？
So anyways, what does this have to do with us?
みんな部員がなかなか集まらなくて苦労してるよね。それはどうしてかわかる人。
So Kura raised her hand.
天文部がマイナーだから？
So there is a problem with the astronomy club. It's kind of specific and niche. And her very direct answer made everyone glum, especially the older stargazers. So Hikari nodded and went on.
一般生徒たちは自分の学校に天文部があることさえ知らなかったりするわね。
Maybe. So several people in the room clutched at their chest and drew pained breaths. Everyone knows what Hikari was talking about, I'm sure. In our school, thanks to a rumor about a guy living in the club room, we had some degree of recognition. And I wonder if the staff members know about it as well. And they probably did nothing about it. It's like, well, there's nothing bad about it, so who cares? But then again, they can complain to Akito about wasting resources. Electricity, water. And I'm pretty sure that's also the problem with security. Well, plus, Saya's visits had been deemed in character for an astronomy club, so we were pretty well known. So the commuter wife issue. Well, then again, it's not the recognition that I'm looking for. or anyone will want.
じゃあ双子座大流星群の PR をしながら天文部のこともアピールするの？その必要はありませんね。
So Honoka spoke before Hikari responded.
天文や流星群についての PR 活動がそのまま天文部の PR になりますから。そうですよね、ひかりさん。
So the idea is like, hey, everyone. So if you want to see this Gemini meteor shower, you can go to the Six Stars Club meetup, and they'll offer it to you.
そうそれ、私がズバッとかっこよく言いたかったのに先に言われちゃったけど、そういうこと。
So we have all the tools that we could use to present to you this Gemini meteor shower. Well, if you promote astronomy, people would naturally get to know about our clubs and activities too. And there were people that were interested in the meteor shower craze too.
天文部がいまいちマイナーな理由って外から見て活動内容がよくわからないからだと思うの。
But then again, where does the blog come in? So the longtime fans of stargazing didn't seem to get this. But then,
そうかも。
Sakura nodded, a serious look on her face.
だって星って夜に見るものでしょ。じゃあ昼間の部活動で何やってんだろうって思ってた。
Well, you know, everything they say, that's true. So even I had the same problem. I wonder what the objective or the purpose of the astronomy club is. So people are probably wondering about basic stuff like, so what was so interesting about looking at stars anyways? Well, that's also a problem. It's like, compared to the robotics club, there isn't really anything special looking at stars compared to building something that can do all these cool and exciting things. Well, I'm sorry, I'm using a reference from If I Heart at Wings.
どんな部活かイメージできないというのも天文部がメジャーになれない理由というわけですか。
野球部とかサッカー部みたいなグラウンドで練習してる運動部はその点有利っすよね。何してるか見たらわかっから。
It's like, well, you know, the other clubs, they do activities in the day, and people can walk around and see, oh, so I see the baseball club practicing, or I see the soccer club practicing. But for the astronomy club, they do things at night, and that makes it a challenge to be visible to other people. So compared to other, let's see, clear goals of sports clubs, perhaps it was natural for cultural clubs to have trouble finding members. So if our aims and activities were better known, there'd surely be more people knocking at our doors. And just like last year's observation meetup.
でもそれはプロジェクトのおまけみたいなものだわ。この計画の本当の目的は他にある。
So what else?
本当の目的？
Hikari nods solemnly.
明るい夜のために。
So what does that mean? Hikari come up with that slogan. It seemed like a hit. Everyone was repeating it.
星の光は街の明かりにかき消され、年々夜空は暗くなっていってる。
Oh, it's like, well, I'm trying to... Wait a minute.
来たるべき大流星群の夜、一つでも多くの流星を見てもらうためには、星々の輝く明るい夜を取り戻す必要があるわ。
So because of the developments, there's so many lights in town at night, it's making it hard for anybody to do stargazing. So I'm hoping that by having this big event, it'll convince people to shut off their lights at night and create that once perfect environment to do stargazing. So basically when everyone comes out, they're going to turn off their lights and, in a sense, reduce the amount of light pollution.
それこそがプロジェクトスターライトの真の目的。
So even we have trouble enjoying the stars because of this light pollution issue.
どうやって明るい夜を取り戻すんですか？
Hikari grinned as if she's been waiting all along for Honoka's question.
街中の人に部屋の明かりを消してもらいます。
There you go. So, when everyone comes and looks at the stars and the meteor shower, they'll turn off their lights as they go up here. And that will reduce the amount of light pollution.
街中の人に明かりを消してもらう？
ずっとというわけじゃないわ。流星群の降る夜だけでいい。
Well, that's obvious.
たった一日だけ、かつてのような明るい夜を取り戻すの。この星の中の夜空に。
So, in short, Hikari was going to ask the residents of Hoshinonaka to put out the lights. Well, then again, I kind of wonder about the street lights because those can be turned off. They're owned by the government and they're set by a timer or a computer.
できるの？そんなこと。
And what about some business lights? Like, I'm pretty sure businesses, they want to have their places running at all operating hours. So in a whisper, Corona said what was on everyone's mind.
わかんない。
So at most, Hikari's only going to let people turn off their home or house lights, but what about the commercial district and the industrial district?
でも、それこそやってみなくちゃわかんないでしょ？
But never hurts to try.
わかんないって。おいおい。
So I kind of wonder about Hikari's logic. So even though she's all this grand talk, she has no plan, and her ideas are kind of skeptical. Well, I think it's worth a shot, so we can try to see if it works. Well, I've been silent throughout Hikari's presentation. Now everyone's eyes are on me. So even if no one turned off their lights and the sky stayed dark, it would be better knowing that we had tried rather than just do nothing. So it doesn't hurt to try. Saya spoke to a little tentatively.
私もまずは知ってもらうことが大事だと思います。
But at least we make our exposure to everyone, and when they walk around at night, they can see, oh, so I see people doing some interesting things over there. And that's the attention that they need, like the sports clubs, when they see people playing sports or practicing. So getting everyone on board wouldn't be easy. And this wasn't just about the fun of astronomy. This was one step further. We're making a stand. And we're likely to fail or met with some kind of negative response. And those thoughts scared us.
まいた種が芽吹くとは限らない。
Honoka spoke softly.
けれど、すべての種が芽吹かないとも限らない。種をまかなければ、花が咲くこともない。滅びの運命をただ座して受け入れるのか？ひな！
So what's gonna happen now?
天文が滅びつつある不毛の荒野に、バラ星雲のような美しい花を咲かせてみせましょう。私たちの手で。吉岡ちゃん？部長がおかしくなった。
Honoka, who had stood up for that rousing, soliloquy, returned to her senses and blushed.
そう言ったのではないでしょうか。もし白鳥前会長がここにいたなら。
Well, it did sound like Orihime's words, in a sense. So for a moment, it felt like her joke had fallen flat, but we all got Honoka's message. And for those who know Orihime from last year, I'm sure they can imagine her giving that speech as well.
天文の PR はむつら星の会の使命。たとえ計画通りに生かすとも、やる意義はあるはず。
So promoting the Six Stars Club is our mission, So even if we fail, it doesn't hurt to try. It's like, well, we can't really expect that it'll be successful.
私は光さんの意見に賛成です。吉岡ちゃん。
そうっすね。失敗したって失うもんがあるわけじゃねえし。
Well, then again, Hikari's name means light. So, in a sense, Hikari lights up everything.
派手にやってもらえると助かります。
And so, with little help from Orihime's inspired performance, Project Starlight officially green-lighted. Okay, so this looks like it's the end of Divergence Route A, and this marks the end of my Let's Play for A Sky Full of Stars for now. But I hope to pick it up in the future at some point. So we're now on a individual character route, and I'm not really sure if this is the Hikari route or the Saya route. So anyways, looking back at this episode, even though Hikari's quite odd, interesting, and crazy, she does have some good ideas about how to bring the Six Stars Club back to success. So they know about people being interested in the Gemini meteor shower, like the 2001 Leonid meteor shower, and by having a place to look at this meteor shower plus all the equipment, it could invite or encourage people to come to the astronomy clubs. So one, they get publicity, and two, allows people to turn off their lights and create a better environment for everyone to do astronomy. So in terms of Project Starlight, I'm sure it'll go forward in either the Hikari route or the Saya route. And for which route I'll play first, I haven't decided, but usually how it goes is that I have one character in mind as my favorite, and she goes last. And I won't reveal to you who that person is yet. So before I close this episode, let's go back and see what other parts that I might have missed based on the Saya and Hikari selection way earlier in this Divergence route. So, hold on for a minute. Hi everyone. Welcome back. So, it turns out that I ended at the beginning of Hikari's route. So I went back and selected the Saya option, and we've already seen a difference between the Saya option and the Hikari option. So this is the other one, and let's see how this one goes.
じゃあ何？自分だけで大丈夫って？それか。あ、実はもう付き合ってる？
So this is where Hikari mentions like, so I see that you and Saya are already together, right? So with who?
そりゃあ。
Well, we know what Hikari means, but for Akito, he's like, wait a minute, so what are you talking about?
コタちゃん、よしよし。
So they're both looking at Saya and Kotaro. And I kind of like how Kotaro's like, oh, good. I like it, Saya.
コタちゃんふさふさだね。もふもふで気持ちいい。
And it feels so good. So come on. So we're not together, Hikari. You're mistaken. My response bored Hikari, it seemed. Well, but in an instant, she was smiling again.
ガキの頃とは違うんだぜってとこ見せてやってよね。
So if we're not kids anymore, then I wonder, how come you're not with Saya yet? Or how come you're not in a relationship with her yet? Isn't that kind of strange? Hikari poked me in the side with her elbow. Ouch, that hurts.
さやは私の大事な友達なんだから、泣かせたら許さないんだからね。
But take good care of Saya, okay? Don't hurt her. Well, I don't tend to.
よし、じゃあ微力ながらこの私も力になってあげよう。
Well, I told you, don't do anything. Well, it is just something, or like, it'll just complicate things, okay?
そう遠慮するなよ、相棒。
Oh, come on. I know that you want to get closer to Saya, so, well, we were joking. Just messing around. And only a few hours had passed since the reunion, but things were already back to the way they were before. So Saya had gotten her fill of playing with Kotaro and returned without us noticing. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's where the other option will take us. So I'll conclude the playthrough here, and if I do start one of the individual character routes, they will be in a separate playlist. So with that in mind, I'll see you in a future playthrough on a future game.